Hi everyone and welcome to today's interview. We've had quite a number of you asking about goats and sheep, and today we have the pleasure of interviewing farmers who are specialized in rearing 4 different animals. Well, 2 types of goats and 2 types of sheep, and more specifically the Red Kalahari goats, the Boer goats, the Hampshire Down sheep, and the Dorper sheep whose lamb I'm holding. We are at the Penzi Farm. Penzi Farm is located in one of the most beautiful counties in Kenya, and that's Nakuru County. If you can see the background, this is definitely one for the views. The scenery is definitely amazing and beautiful. Penzi Farm was established in 2020 by Mr. Samson Ngetich, who remains to be the director of the farm. He is currently not here, but we have the pleasure of interviewing the people who manage the farm on the day-to-day basis, and that's Miss Lydia and Mr. Simoto, who will tell us a little bit more about their farm. But before we get to them, just a quick fact about the Dorper sheep, Red Kalahari, as well as the Boer goats. These are animals that can literally adapt to most climates. Well, the Hampshire sheep is a bit different. That one needs cold climates. So if you're there and you're thinking, oh, Nakuru is too cold, or Molo specifically is too cold, will this one survive where it's really hot? Can it survive in maybe an arid or semi-arid land? Can it survive in Ukambani? Can it survive in the desert areas? That name, Red Kalahari, tells you something about that particular breed of goats. So without saying much, I'd like us to meet. I need to release this little friend of mine, and I'd like us to meet Mr. Simoto and Lydia, who will tell us more about their farm. Hi, Mr. Simoto.
Hi.
I will like greet you. Hello, can I put him down?
Yeah, sure.
Freedom for him.
No, yes,
All right.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your farm, and then I know we are going to meet Lydia in a bit.
Yes.
Yes. But tell us a little bit about your farm.
Yes.
I've introduced the farm in a nutshell and just mentioned the four breeds that you have.
Yes.
2 breeds of the sheep. That's the Dorper sheep as well as the Hampshire Down, and then you have the Kalahari Red and the Boer goats.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Okay. So,
And your story to begin with.
Yes.
Tell us your story as Penzi Farm. I've mentioned it was established by Mr. Samson Ngetich,
yes.
who's not here today,
Yes.
but he's so warmly welcomed us
Yes.
and allowed us to have this interview, and for that we are grateful.
Okay. So, Penzi Farm started in the year 2020
Mhm.
towards the year 2021.
Mhm.
It was started by one person called Samson Ngetich.
Okay.
His name is Samson Ngetich. He's in Australia.
Okay.
Okay. So at Penzi Farm, we started with sheep.
Mhm.
So for sheep, we started with both the Dorpers
Mhm.
and the Hampshire Down.
Mhm.
Initially, we had about 25 animals.
25 more or
Yes,
less.
but today we have about 400 sheep,
400.
especially, yes, for the sheep.
Okay.
Then for the goats, we started in the year 2023, 2024. We started with about 7 Boer goats
Mhm.
and 7 Red Kalahari goats.
Okay.
But right now, we have about over 100
Mhm.
goats.
Of
Yeah,
both
Penzi
or
Farm.
of each?
Yes, of both.
Okay. Mhm.
Yes. So at Penzi Farm,
Mm.
we call ourselves breeders.
Okay.
So this means that Penzi Farm is one of the best breeding farm I think in Kenya, owing to the fact that to the traits that maybe the people get to give us when they hear about Penzi Farm. So for Penzi Farm, our main mission is to nature quality at the same time inspiring global standard.
Great.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah.
What's the difference between, and I'll ask,
Yes.
assuming there's someone who's viewing this interview
Yes.
and they don't know much about the sheep and the goats that you usually have,
Yes.
what makes them unique compared to all the others that are there, let's say in Kenya?
Yes.
Yeah.
So for the Dorper sheep, so for someone to identify the difference between a Dorper sheep and the Hampshire Down, I think I'll start with the Dorpers. So for the Dorpers, they are black up to the neck.
Okay.
Yes, and the entire part of the body is purely white.
Okay.
Then for the Hampshire Down, they're black on the face and also black on the legs,
Okay.
and they have the fleas, yeah, covering a major part of their bodies.
Okay.
Yes. Then for the goats, for the red Kalahari, just as the name suggests, the red Kalahari, so they are purely red.
Okay.
Then for the Boers, the bigger part of their body is white, and the head is also red.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's how you differentiate them.
Yes. And also for the goats, I think I must say, they have the drooping ears, the dropping ears.
Okay.
So their ears are not alert, unlike the other breeds of goats that are found here in Kenya.
Okay.
Yes.
Can we just, I can see you have some goats over there.
Yes.
Can we walk to them as you just show us which one is the red Kalahari, which one is the what's it called?
The Boer?
The Boer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the Boers, so the one you're seeing over here, so these three, yeah? Let's 1, 2, 3. So you can differentiate them.
Okay.
Now, their neck being totally red. Then for the red Kalahari, the one you're seeing here, they are purely red now.
Okay.
So they don't have any other mark. Yes.
All right. All right. I'm just curious.
Yes.
These goats are really, really big.
Yes.
There's one you've tagged over there. I'm
Exactly.
assuming that's a male goat.
Yes.
How old is that one?
So this one is just 1 year and 8 months.
1 year, 8 months.
Yes.
So almost 2 years.
Yes, almost 2 years. Yes.
And what about the smaller ones here?
So these ones are just, so they were recently weaned. So they are 4 months.
4 months?
Yes.
Wow. And how much would they weigh at that weight?
At 4 months, they should be about 20 kgs and above.
Wow.
Yes.
And what about the other one, the big one?
So these one, they are all over 100 kgs as of now.
The two of them?
Yes,
because I can see the two males.
Yes.
One's a Boer, the other one is the Kalahari Red.
Yes.
100 kgs.
Yes, 100 kgs.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, interesting. Can we get to see some of the sheep?
Yes. So
I know we'll get to talk a little bit more about them.
Yes. Section we have the Hampshire Down and the Dorper sheep. So as I was telling you, for you to differentiate how an Hampshire Down should look like, so these breeds that you're seeing over there, the black face and the black legs, and also the ears are upstanding. The ears are upstanding. Then for the Dorpers,
this is the Hampshire.
Yes, these are the Hampshire Down. Then these are the Dorpers, the three that you're seeing over there. Yes. So for the Dorper sheep you're seeing over here, that is their dad. So this is their dad. The bigger one you're seeing over here.
What's his name? I know I had you say
his name is Game Changer.
Game Changer.
Yeah. And for the Hampshire Down, this is their dad. His name is Rambo.
He's gone away.
Yeah.
He's super big. How old is Rambo?
Rambo is just 2 years.
2 years only?
2 years, 3 months.
2 years, 3 months?
Yes.
Okay. And how much does he weigh?
Rambo weighs 130 kgs as of now.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. And how much does
so for Game Changer
he
weighs 107 kgs as of now.
107?
Yes.
Wow, that's a big sheep. I'm just curious. I've never measured the other sheep out there.
Yeah.
My brother has goats. I come from a family of a few farmers here and there, but they're more of local farmers. He's really big, to be honest. Yeah. But how much weight would a kawaida or a typical, local breed carry?
Okay, so the most funny thing is that for the people that have the local sheep and goats, you'll find an animal is 2 years and they'll be weighing between 20 to 30 kgs.
At 2 years?
Yes.
And yet Rambo is around 2 years, but he's over 100.
He's over 100.
Okay.
So that is the main reason we started Penzi Farm.
Okay.
Because what we wanted was to provide these local farmers with pure breeds so that they can improve their flock. So improving your flock means that, so when you come and get a ram from Penzi Farm and go and mate with your local breeds, then the offspring that are going to be given will be more improved than the latter.
Okay.
Yes, because we always say that the ram takes about 70% of will transmit about 70% of the genetics to their children.
70%?
Yes.
That's quite good.
Yes.
Ah, so it's more or less the stronger breed.
Yes.
Compared to the local one.
To the local ones.
Okay.
Yes.
Ah,
also owing to the fact that these breeds we import the rams from South Africa, and now what we sell now the offsprings of direct imports from South Africa.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Because I think South Africa, they are more satisfied in terms of providing pure breeds,
Okay.
unlike here in Kenya.
Okay.
Yes.
Smart move, smart move. So guys, as you can see, here is both Rambo and Game Changer. Game Changer is the Dorper sheep. Rambo is the other one at the back. The Hampshire Down. Yeah. They are going to explain a little bit more about the process of rearing this sheep as well as the goats we just saw. And for that, we will have Miss Lydia taking us through the bit of not calving. Calving is for cows. I'll correct myself there. But just the lambing process as well as the breeding bit. And as well as the breeding bit, and now moving over to everything that has to do with management of these animals. So they'll share a little bit more about that. The feeding and nutrition, we are going to learn pretty much about it. Any question that you have, please feel free as you're watching this video to also post any questions that you might have on that YouTube channel for this video, and we'll just get them to respond on the go as soon as you get to watch this. Thank you, and let's go meet Miss Lydia. Hi Lydia, how are you? Thank you so much for welcoming us to Penzi Farm. Your colleague, Mr. Simoto, just took us through the different kinds of breeds that you have. He's told us a little bit about Penzi Farm, how it started, and I must say that they really are doing great, to be honest, given that they started off with about 25 sheep. Right now there are more than 400. 3 years down the line, they brought in 7 Boer goats, 7 Dorper sheep. Right now, there are more than 100 combined. That's quite exemplary. We'd like you to share a little bit more about how you do lambing for the sheep, and maybe you can even talk about the Boer goats, all 4 animals that you have. But we can start off with the sheep. I know before the lambing bit, there's the breeding. So kindly take us through that process.
Okay. So I want to welcome you yet again. So
Thank you.
Welcome to Penzi Farm.
Asante sana.
Yeah, at Penzi Farm, we are breeders, and it's a pleasure to handle the breeding part.
Okay.
So basically, goats and sheep are in the same class. They are all small ruminants.
Small ruminants.
Yeah,
Okay.
they have so many similarities. The gestation period is just the same. The cycle, the cycle is just the same. So breeding sheep and goats is just the same. So when we are doing our breeding, we always the gestation period for the sheep and goat is 5 months.
5 months.
Yeah, and the cycle is between 17 to 21 days. So in our farm, we do what we call controlled breeding. We do not keep the male and the female together.
Okay.
We choose the females that we want to breed, and then we prepare them. There is a process we call flushing.
Flashing.
Yes, we feed them with feeds that are high in protein.
High in protein.
So that so that it can increase their conception rate. And so that if an animal has genes which are for twinning, it can increase the twinning percentage.
Nice.
Yeah. So we flush them before we introduce them to the male. 2 weeks before we start the flushing process. This is where we feed them with feeds that are high in protein. We do the multivitamin injections. We do the deworming if they are due for deworming. If there was any vaccine that was pending, we try to administer the vaccine during that period, so that when we keep them with the male, we do not interrupt the process. Yeah. So after flushing, we introduce them to the male.
Okay.
In Penzi Farm, we do not put them with the male the whole day. We put them with the male during the night. And during this time, there is a marking we apply on the male at the brisket, so that when he mounts the females, he leave the marking.
Which part is the brisket?
Yeah,
That's I know it's
chest.
not such a familiar word for everyone. The chest area.
Yeah, the chest area.
Okay.
So we use different colors for different breeds.
Okay.
Because as we said, we are breeders. We do not want a situation where we are doing crossbreeding, because you know the Dorper ram can mount a female Hampshire, and we do not want that. So we put different colors for different species of the animals. Then in the morning, we come and correct the tags of those who have been mounted.
Okay.
This one help us to...
Just a pause. How will you know they've been mounted? Just a quick clarification.
Because when the male mounts on the female, he leaves the marking on the female.
That marking?
At the back. Yeah.
To our viewers, there are some female goats right about here. When they come closer, you will just see what they mean by that marking. It's more or less, can I call it a paint?
Yes.
Some sort of paint or colored, some color of some sort that the male leaves when it mounts the female. So at the back of the female, you'll see that same color that was applied underneath the male.
Yeah, so we keep them with the ram for 42 days. This helps for each female to have 2 cycles within that period.
42 days?
Yes.
Okay.
So that if she misses the first cycle, she'll have another cycle during that period there with the male. And then we correct all the tags according to the dates they were mounted. This helps to anticipate the time when they will be giving birth, because prior to giving birth, when they are remaining with 1 month, there is a process we do what we call steaming up.
Steaming up?
Yes. We start feeding the females, like the ones you are seeing here. We start feeding them with dairy meal 4 weeks before lambing. This...
Can we go to where they are as we are speaking?
Yes, no problem. So this feeding them with the dairy meal helps to prepare for the milk production, because we do not want an instance where we are the lamb is born and the mother has no enough milk.
Doesn't have milk.
Yeah, so the steaming up helps to prepare the mother to prepare reserves for the milk. So after we correct the tags of those who have been mounted, after the 42 days, we totally separate them from the male. Yeah, we start now feeding them on normal nutrition. Then, so when they are remaining with 1 month, that's where then we'll come back, look for those who have developed the udder. Like you can see, the udder is full.
And they keep going, so we'll just have to stop here, and hopefully they'll get back to where we are. We were hoping to get them at the manger there, but they are gone.
Yeah, so after when they are remaining with 1 month, we come and do the eye check. We check for those who have developed the udder. We start steaming up. Yeah, we steam up for 1 month, and then we put them at these cross paddocks that are close to the shed.
Okay.
When they are remaining with 1 month, so that when they start the process of giving birth, we can quickly come and help.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So that is how we do the steaming up and the lambing part of it. Yeah.
To our viewers, there are a few sheep in the shed, and maybe because our mothers have decided they don't want anything to do with us for now and they've gone further down, are there some of those sheep that have got some painting still? I know for those ones they've already lambed.
Yes.
There are some of them that still have the paint.
Yes.
So you'll get to see what she's talking about when you do that. And just allow me to ask, at what point do you, or rather, at what age do you start breeding the females? Because there I can see you have 4 Hampshires down and 1 Dorper. The mothers that are there are 5. So it's 4 Hampshire Downs and 1 Dorper. At what age do you start breeding the sheep? And then, yeah, you can just talk a little bit more also about when you start breeding the goats, and if the process is still the same. Do you apply that kind of like color or paint underneath the goats, the males?
Yeah.
At what age do you start breeding them?
Okay. That question has 2 answers.
Okay.
Yeah, we can start breeding according to the age.
Okay.
And then there is that aspect of the weight of the animal.
Weight of the animal.
Yes. For Penzi Farm, we do not want to start breeding early because it makes the females to have stunted growth.
Oh, really?
Where when they start birthing at a very young age. So we endeavor to start breeding when they have hit 50 kgs.
50 kgs.
Yes.
And how long does that take?
That
ideally?
is about 1 year to 1 year and a half.
1 to 1.5.
Yeah, that is say 18 months. At 18 months, all the females are supposed to be introduced to the male. Yeah, and it is the same for the goats also, because as you noticed, we have 2 breeds of goats. So we do not want the same thing. We do not want crossbreeding. So we put the mark all the same. We separate the paddocks where they are, the sleeping areas where they are being mated, because at times you might put a different, maybe Dorpers here and then Hampshires here, and then when they are breeding, when the bucks and the rams are breeding, they are very aggressive.
Oh,
yeah, he can jump over and come to the other group. So we put them far away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Quick question: what if an animal attains that weight, 50 kgs, before it hits 1.5 years? Do you breed it or do you wait?
Yes, we might consider.
You might consider
breeding it.
Yeah, depending on.
But must be above 1 year.
Must be above a year.
Yes.
Okay. Sawa. Please show us. I'm super curious just to see the shed area and you know how you've structured it. You can talk a little bit more about that, even as you're telling us about lambing. Where do they give birth? Is there a specific space that you've designed for the sheep or the goats to give birth?
Yes, we do have temporary lambing pens that are made of iron. Like this one.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a way we construct them, and then after they have finished giving birth, we remove the pens and we make that place the nursery area. Maybe you can come inside and see.
Okay, that would be nice to see. Yeah. I like how clean, well maintained this place looks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. They think I'm bringing something.
Food.
Yes.
They know you.
So this is the nursery area.
I want to get in, but should I just come in?
Yes, please.
All right.
So this is the nursery area. This nursery is for the Dorpers. As you can see, they are all Dorpers. Okay, come. So one thing you must consider in the nursery area, the feeding troughs. You must put enough feeding troughs for the mothers.
For the mothers,
yes. The other thing you consider is the mineral leak. All petitions should have mineral leaks. The other thing you consider is the water trough. There must be a water trough inside. And then we have separated our area.
You've segregated them?
Yes. There is so this is the partitioning. The lambs can be able to access the pellets from inside.
Okay.
And then the mothers cannot pass through.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So they can be able to feed the pellets because we start feeding at 14 days.
14 days.
Yeah, we start feeding them with lamb pellets. And then this allows them to go and eat the pellets and then come back and nurse.
That's nice. I'd like to see one more lamb pass. That's good. But the mothers can't pass here.
The mothers cannot pass there. As you can see, the spaces.
So the big sheep can't pass, but the small ones.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yes.
So this is only a section for the lambs, and it has the pellets meant for the lambs.
Yes.
I know we'll talk maybe you can talk a little bit about before we talk about those pellets. I just show us to our viewers. There's you can see the green markings on the sheep. Were those, just clarify, were those the ones you're saying you apply underneath the males so that when they mount, they leave that ink? Or can we get one sheep that shows that?
I'll have to show you. This one is for deworming. Whenever we are doing deworming, we usually mark them so that we do not overdose.
Okay.
Yeah, we make sure once we have done deworming, we mark that sheep so that we do not redo the deworming. I'll have to show you one that has the mating marking. Yeah.
Okay. How are you able to, I can see like the Dorpers are separated from the Hampshire Down. Okay. Interesting. And that same side, you also have the same structures here. There's some of their pellets are also there.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us more about the lambing bit. Where is the section where they give birth?
As I told you before, the section, we have a lambing pens, but they are temporary.
They are temporary.
Yes, but we show you the ones that we use for those who are, the lambing pens are for those who are lambing in groups.
In groups, okay.
In fact, we build them, they fill this room.
Okay.
And then after the 14 days, we remove the lambing pens, then we introduce the partitioning for the nursery so that they can start crib feeding.
Okay.
Yes, but I think we'll share with you footages of the lambing pen.
That's great. That would be really nice. The lambs are there.
Yes.
How do you take care of them?
Okay.
We've already gotten the lambs. Tell us how you take care of them.
I think I'll start with the lambing process. For us here at Penzi Farm, we are very we wait for the lambing period because that is where we get the new lambs, and in a few months the lambs will translate to our sales. So we take care of the ones that are due for lambing, like you saw them there. We already started giving them dairy meal, and then if they are, because there are some vaccinations we do for the mothers that are pregnant.
Okay, while they are still pregnant.
Yes. For example, there is a disease called enterotoxemia. We start the vaccination 4 weeks before lambing.
Okay.
Yes. So we prepare for the lambing, and then we keep our eyes opened when they are due. So when they show the signs of lambing, because all our herdsmen are aware.
They're well trained.
They know how to look for the signs, and they sometimes they can even help. So when they spot a sheep or a goat that is due for giving birth, they call us. So there are things we do. We remove them from the outside and put them inside. We want them to lamb in an environment that is good, away from cold, because as you can see, this place is very cold. We try as much as possible to they lamb from inside. So if for sheep and goat, there is no much struggle. Sometimes, most of the time, they can give birth by themselves. But at least you have to be there, so that if there is difficult giving birth, what we call dystocia, you can easily help. So let's assume there are no difficulties in giving birth. The sheep has lambed well. There are things we do to make sure the lamb is breathing, and if he or she is not breathing, there are some procedures we do to help stimulate the breathing.
Okay.
For example, if they have difficulty in breathing, there is a way we swing the lamb so that it can stimulate the lungs and remove any excess fluid that may be trapped in the breathing system.
Just draining that.
Yes. The other thing we do is putting some grass on the nostrils to stimulate sneezing, then they can start breathing.
Clear it off, whatever is blocking it.
Yeah. The other thing we do is to make sure the lamb is able to suckle.
Okay.
So we try to help. If he or she is able to suckle, well and good. If not,
if they can't,
we start the bottle feeding. We can, because it is important for the lambs to start to have that colostrum. For the very first minutes, it helps them to get the immunity. So if the lamb cannot suckle, we have to like milk the mommy. Yes,
give it the milk.
Yes, and give to the lamb. Then after that, there is a cord. We have to disinfect the cord because sometimes it acts as a way of the bacteria entry.
Okay.
So we disinfect the cord.
Mm-hmm.
We do weighing. We want to know
what's the birth
weight,
mm-hmm.
so that it can help to track the growth of this animal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just a quick one.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've mentioned the birth weight,
Mm-hmm.
I am curious, and I'm very sure there are some viewers who are curious.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, what's the average birth weight
Mm-hmm.
of the four animals?
Okay.
The Hampshire sheep, the Dorper sheep, Kalahari red goats, as well as the Boer goats. What's the birth weight?
Okay, for if it's a single, it can go up to 6 kgs for the Hampshires.
For the Hampshires?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But on average, for the Hampshires, it's 4 kgs. For the Dorpers, 3.5.
3.5.
But if it's twins, you might get 3. Yeah, 3.
Yeah. Same thing happens even with human beings. When when a mom gets twins, chances are they will weigh less than a typical single birth.
Yeah. So we record the weights. We record the tag number of the mother.
The tag number of the mom.
Yes.
On the tag number of the lamb.
Yes.
Can I don't, they are a bit quiet right now, so I don't want to kind of like get either one of them. They start making noise.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a big one. So this is the same tag number that the mother has?
No. This tag number, if you go to, because we keep our records in a system. If you pin this tag number there, it will produce the mother, the father, the day he was born, and the birth weight, the history of this animal. Okay. So we are so very keen about the tagging. That's why we correct the tag number of the mother, so that when you go to the system, when we are selling this animal, you can track up to the mother. Yes.
And the history before, like the mom and all.
Yes. If it's a twin, has it been treated in the farm? The vaccinations he has gotten. Yeah.
Okay. There's something I noticed, and I know these lambs are a bit big. How old are these ones specifically? They were born around the same time. They're the same age group. How old are they, more or less?
1.5 months.
1.5 months.
Yes.
There are some little ones that we saw out there that have a neck tag and not the ear one. What's the difference? How do you determine which ones?
Okay, I think we are still on the nursery management. So when that lamb is born, we usually put the necktie indicating the name of the mother and the tag number of that animal.
Okay.
So that helps us to track the mother, because at times they are born like about 30. You might not know in a glance who is the mother and whose child is this. So we always check on the necktie. That helps us to know the mother, because at times these kids can be very cheeky. You can find them nursing from one mother, and the mother does not have twins. That definitely tells you there is a mother who is suffering
from mastitis.
Yes. So that is the reason we put those neckties. So on the nursery management, we let them have exclusive breastfeeding for those 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes. Then after 2 weeks, we introduce them to the crib feeding. Why do we start that early? Because we want the rumen to develop as early as possible, so that it can be able to hold so much food, and that translate to they grow very fast. So we feed them with the lamb pellets, and eventually we start introducing the lucerne and the hay. Yeah, so that it can help to develop the rumen. Yeah, so after introduction of the crib feeding, we allow them to crib feed and also
circle.
Yes. So as you can see, these are traffic. It's always busy. Some are entering,
some are getting out, going to the mummies.
Yes.
That's great.
And then there are some things we do in the nursery. First of all, we start the vaccinations as early as well, because the disease I told you about, if you are not vaccinated the mother, you start vaccinating at 3 weeks.
At 3 weeks?
Yes.
So is that the mom or the lambs?
The lambs now.
Okay.
Yeah, because the reason for vaccinating the mother, it is for the child to have what you call passive immunity.
Passive,
yeah. But if you missed on that, you start vaccinating the lambs themselves. And the disease I'm telling you is a very serious disease because it has a nickname. It is called pulpy kidney or overeating disease. It attacks the lambs that are growing very fast.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you have not vaccinated the rams, they'll start just dying. Yeah, so we endeavor to vaccinate them so that at least, because in a farm setting, we always say it's better to prevent.
Prevention is better than cure,
Yes.
always.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Quick question. For the pellets that you're giving the lambs from the 3rd week onwards, what are they rich in?
Okay, they are rich in protein.
Protein, okay.
Yeah, because we want what we call bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding,
yeah. We want them to develop the muscles and also to like just to grow and be free from from diseases. So it is much it is high in protein, but also it has the carbohydrates. It is well balanced.
Well balanced for them.
Yes.
Okay. Which other, I know we'll get back to, we are going to talk about disease management at some point. But which other vaccines other than the one, and feel free to remind us again which disease you said you vaccinate the mom against when it's, you know, a month to giving birth. Which diseases should you really be keen on when they're this small for the lambs, now that we're talking about lambing?
Okay. As it is in humans, diarrhea is one of the leading causes of death, even in humans. The same case applies to the lambs.
Okay.
Yes. One, diarrhea is brought about either hygiene, mostly hygiene, and then there is a change of feeds might sometimes bring about diarrhea, but mostly in the nursery it is about hygiene.
Hygiene,
yes. So we make sure the traps, we clean them every day. Yeah, we clean the traps. The other thing in the nursery, and then if there are cases of diarrhea, we intervene as early as possible.
Do you separate them from
yes,
the
we
rest?
Separate those who are diarrheaing. The first thing we take the temperatures. Sometimes we take random temperatures
randomly.
Yes, and keep them in isolation so that we can wait for other clinical signs. But if it's diarrhea, we really endeavor to intervene as soon as possible. And because we have vets in the farm, it's easy. So once we spot any diarrheaing lamb, we start the treatment regime.
Immediately.
Yes. And the most important thing, it's hygiene. The other thing is about the setting of the house.
Okay.
You must allow enough air
to flow in.
Yes, because if you confine them in a place where there is no air circulation, they still have problems of pneumonia and respiratory distress.
Okay.
The other thing we do is changing the beddings.
The beddings.
Yes.
What is the bedding made of? I can see this is good manure. Crop farmers. I'm just seeing good manure over here.
So what we do in our sheds, we apply agricultural lime and then let them defecate here. So one thing with the agricultural lime, it helps to break down the droppings.
The droppings.
As you can see, the droppings, they have been broken down. The other thing, it removes excess ammonia. As you can see, you cannot tell whether these sheep slept here. There is no wetness here.
Okay.
So it removes ammonia and also dries up the excess moisture.
Okay, and it does not impact the sheep negatively in any way.
Nothing. Yeah.
All
and
right.
then it is very comfortable. As you can see, once they sleep here, it looks like a mattress.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you add? I can see bits and pieces of, is it grass or hay? Is that? Do you intentionally add that?
Yes, we do. At start, when we like now, this is due for removing.
So after how long do you remove them?
1 month.
Also? 1 month.
So after we remove, you realize this place will be left bare.
Okay.
So we introduce the grass so that they can be sleeping on the grass before the droppings can be a trace.
Okay. There's a question I just remembered I wanted to ask. When you're constructing these pens, what's the idea? Like right now, what's the size of the pen we are standing in? Where the mums and the lambs can be, as well as what's the size of that pen where it's only the lambs that can get through. Yeah. So what's that size, and how many mothers ideally before the lambs come can be hosted in here?
Okay, for the sheep and goat, a mature sheep should have a 2 by 2 squared meters. Yeah, so we just multiply that by the number of the sheep we have.
The sheep they have?
Yes, yes.
So this, correct me if I'm wrong, more or less, it's made of wood, which is easily, you can easily, you know, play around with in terms of shifting the size and everything.
Yeah.
So you make them more or less temporary. And then depending on how many sheep you have that are in gestation, you will construct the size that is enough for them.
Like
Okay.
these ones are movable. We can decide to
extend that side.
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing with the lambs. And how much space does the lamb need?
The lamb needs about one. I think one is enough.
1 by 1.
Yeah,
1 square meter.
Yeah, as they grow. But it's good to make sure they have enough, even by just looking at the space, they should have enough space to turn. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the extreme also has consequences. Once you put the overcrowd, they develop stress in that, and if there was a disease that was incubating, and then you expose them to stress, then they fall sick.
Okay.
So you make sure you are not overcrowding. Even the traps should be enough, because at times there are sheep that like wajui kung'ang'ania. So once there are not enough feeding traps, one may just remain behind and she will not feed. And there are also consequences of that. Yes.
I see. At what point do you wean the lambs as well as separate them now? Let them become independent from the mothers.
Okay. First of all, we do the docking. As you can see, all these, they don't have the tails. They're already foreign off.
What's the docking?
Yeah,
that term is foreign to fellows, even to me it's foreign at this point. But I stand to be educated and I'm happy to be educated. What's docking?
It's cutting the tail.
Intentionally you cut it?
No, we put the rubbering and then gradually it falls off.
It doesn't feel pain or anything. I am concerned for this.
It's a bit painful, but
for them,
it's for their own good, because once you let the tail remain, there are some diseases that attacks that, because some of the fecal material may remain there, and then because of being wet all the time, there are some worms that come there. So it's good to do the docking, or
right
even
from
if
birth.
it's painful,
do you,
yeah, we do it at 1 week.
1 week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And how long does it take before the tails fall off?
1 week.
Another week.
Yes,
so at
yes.
2 weeks they're good. They're already
good,
docked.
yes. And then we 3 weeks we remove the necktie, and then we put the actual tag.
The tag by itself.
Yes.
So for the tag, it will be the next number. Like every sheep, lamb or mother must have a unique number. Is that the case?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And we have different color codes for different breeds. Like for the Dorpers, because we are on the this shade is for the Dorpers. We use the green tag.
The green tag.
And we also indicate the year.
That's for the lamb.
All the animals.
The moms don't have the green tag. Is there a specific reason why theirs are not green?
Yes. These are imports.
Oh, they're imports.
Yeah, they arrived, I think, late in November. So we are waiting for the tags to be supplied with the tags. So they'll have the green tag eventually. Eventually. Yes, yes.
I have a question that I highly suspect might be linked to the importation bit. But looking at the mothers, each of them has got 4 tags. Can you explain why?
Okay, all these tags except this one.
Except the orange one that they have.
They came with them.
They came with them. What does it represent?
Some are they you know, these animals, before they can be allowed to be imported to Kenya, they have to go about what you call quarantine for 3 weeks. So there's a tag for the farm they came from. There's a tag represent making the like for surety that they went through the quarantine period. And then there's a tag,
the third tag now,
for clearance at the JKA.
Do you do the exact same things now that you're into the breeding business and you're rearing sheep for breeding purposes, then you sell them? Do you do the exact same thing? The JKA might miss, or depending on whether you're exporting, it might be there. But do you do the exact same thing when now, let's say I'm interested in buying the offspring, now these little ones, when they are that age where they can be bought, so that I can crossbreed with my local ones, or maybe I can just maintain you know, that breed. I have my own Rambo and my own what's the other name of that?
Game changer.
Game changer. I brought into, and I want to get the other ones locally. Will you do the exact same thing to show this one came from Penzi Farm? It was quarantined. It had the, you know, those vaccines and all. Do you go through the same process when you're doing that?
Okay, for us, what we provide is a certificate.
A certificate.
Once you buy an animal from us, we give you the history of the animal and all the vaccines it has gotten. And then we allow you to go with this tag. As you can see, it has Penzi Farm, Penzi Farm, Dorper.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you go with this animal, it will definitely be showing it came from Penzi Farm. Yes.
So that one must never be removed.
That is it's also a marketing strategy. So that when you are with our animal, maybe in Nyanza, people will know about Penzi Farm.
Penzi Farm.
Yes.
But it's also about traceability.
Sure.
If one needs to trace the animal back.
Yes.
There's something I am seeing, and because I'm seeing it where we are talking about lambs, I want to ask about it. These minerals, do the lambs take it as well? I've seen a few moms leaking it. Do the lambs take it as well?
Yes. Yes, they do. Even, as you can see, we also have put some in the partitioning for the lambs.
For the lambs only?
They like it.
Okay.
But we also do dosages of minerals. There are some that we have that we do orally. There are some also injections for the minerals.
For the lambs?
All of them.
All of them?
Yes. And we also provide these ones. Okay. These ones they take at their own pressure. Yeah.
What's which kind of mineral is it?
It has all the trace and the trace minerals and the other minerals.
Okay.
Yeah, from different companies.
Sawa. So
what is important in sheep farming, you are supposed to provide a mineral leak that has small quantities of copper. Yeah, because sheep and goat have what we call copper toxicity. They cannot withstand copper.
Too much copper.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. There's a question I asked that we are yet to answer. I think it was just overtaken by the discussion. But a bit of, at what point do you separate them from the moms and let them become independent?
Okay, we do our weaning at 3 months.
3 months,
But we advise not to do we don't wean abruptly. We do what we call gradual weaning. Yeah. If you are supposed to wean maybe at the end of the month, you start a week before.
Okay.
So when you are weaning, when you are weaning with 1 week, we start crossing this area. We only allow them to nurse kidogo and then they're back. And then we might close it for 12 hours and then allow them, so that when we wean them, they are already used to the like
being away from the mothers.
Being away from the mothers, as opposed to weaning them abruptly. They develop stress, and that stress, because that disease is a very major disease in sheep and goat farming. And it has predisposing factors. Some of the predisposing factors, it is unvaccinated lambs. The other thing is stress. Once they get stressed, that disease hits in. So you make sure you are weaning them gradually. After 3 months, we now separate them totally from the mothers. We can choose to remove the mothers from here. We put them in a different shade. And then we just take care of them. We continue with the crib feeding. And then after we put them all male and female together for 4 months.
Male and females?
Yes, the lambs.
Okay.
We don't wean and separate the male. We put them together because we want to limit the stress.
The stress.
Yeah.
If you separate
because
them.
They were used to be together. Once you start separating them, they might get the stress.
Interesting.
Then after 4 months, we remove them totally. We take the males to the side we showed you. There is where the males stay, and then we leave the girls here.
So at 7 months,
No, 4 months.
We've done the 3 months
Okay.
weaning, then another 4 months, or is it the 4th month?
The
of
4th
life?
month.
The 4th month.
Yes.
Oh, great. So that's when you separate them.
Yeah.
So 1 more month together. After you started weaning, 1 more month together, then you separate them.
Yes.
Okay, that's really great. The other question I will intentionally ask is, now you've separated the lambs from the mums when they are 3 months old. When next will you have the mothers, the ewes mounted?
So after we separate we remove the lambs, we put them in a plain nutrition. We were giving them daily meal. Yes, because we continue with the daily meal for the 1 month
as long as
they are
breastfeeding.
nursing. So after we have removed the lambs, we feed them on a plain nutrition. This is intentional. We want them to subject them to some stress.
Okay.
So that when we introduce now the protein that I told you about, they will come on heat at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. So after weaning the lambs, we feed them in a plain nutrition just for maintenance.
For how long?
For 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks
yes,
only?
Yeah, 2 weeks. They get the stress. And then we reintroduce the feeds and a bit of proteins so that they can come on heat at the same time.
For how long do you give them the protein meals after you've given them plain? Is like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So for the feeds you're talking about and that are rich in protein and all, so that they can come back on heat, how long do you give them that feed?
As long as they are staying with the male.
As long as they're staying with the male?
Yeah, for the 42 days.
42 days. So every 3.5 months, they need to be reintroduced to the male?
Not because there is the gestation period. So after they are mounted, we wait for 5 months.
That's the gestation period?
Yeah, it's 5 months.
5 months?
Yes.
They give birth?
Yes.
3 months?
3.5 months.
3.5 months, they're back.
Yes.
So more or less 8.5 months.
Yes, but there are some consideration we do. There is maybe for a mother who gave birth to twins, you cannot
give it longer.
Yeah, you give it longer, and then you look at the body score. Yeah, you cannot introduce. You cannot bring a female to be mounted, and the body score is wanting. You might have to keep her aside. Do deworming. Yeah, and then just give her time.
All right.
Yes.
Another concept there, the body score bit.
Yes.
What does it entail? When you're looking at the body score, what exactly, which measurements are you taking on the ewe? And you do the same with the rams?
Okay, let me tackle the female first.
Yes.
There is what you see, like your eyes can see a frame and see is in good frame. So if we see something and want to do more observation, we might consider taking the weights. We might consider doing deworming, boosting. Yeah, so we basically look at the body because now you cannot compare this one and this one.
Yeah,
you see,
huyu anakaa mkubwa kidogo, looks a little bit
bigger and fuller. Yeah, so those are the consideration we make. But when because these are actively breastfeeding, once the kids hit 2 months, they'll start regaining their body.
Okay.
And that is the same reason we start feeding early, so that the kids,
they gain the body weight quickly.
Yeah, they don't lose the body weight, and then the kids can start feeding early, so that they don't depend on the milk, the breast milk, fully. Because once they feed on the pellets, they'll suckle a little. Okay. As opposed to when they are suckling all through. Yeah.
And do they get to eat hay? Because I'm assuming, do the ewes and the rams, the mature ones, eat hay? I know we'll talk about feeding and nutrition for those ones, but just a quick one, because I want to find out whether the lambs, when they're out in the fields with the mothers, get to eat the exact same thing.
Okay, we feed them with silage.
Silage.
Is corn silage. We harvest at the right stage and then ferment it. We have a baling machine. We bale our silage. So we feed them with silage. In the morning we start with dairy meal because they are nursing. And then we give them silage. Then later we will bring hay mixed with lucerne. But we have the same partitioning outside. The same partitioning you are seeing here, we have the same partitioning outside. So the kids will be suckling and also eating pellets and a bit of hay and lucerne.
Great. That's really nice to know. To our viewers, we'll talk a little bit more about feeding and nutrition. Maybe the last question that I may have at this point is, every year these ewes keep lambing, I'm assuming at least once a year, let's say.
Yeah, we endeavor they lamb. In 2 years, they lamb thrice.
In 2 years, they lamb thrice. Okay. Ideally, is there a point where it gets to where the ewes, you start noticing they're not lambing? Maybe they're a bit old, and I don't know what old is for sheep. Do they get to, for lack of a better word, and I know this might sound funny, do they get to a menopausal stage as such? And how do you retire them if they get there?
So for the sheep and goat, in fact for the animals, we determine the age by looking at the dentation. At the dentation. For the one who has this permanent teeth, you see she has 2 permanent teeth.
The two?
Yeah,
the main ones. The rest are not permanent?
Yeah, they're not permanent.
They fall off?
Yeah, they fall off, and then she gets some bigger ones like this one. So for this one, this is 1 year and a half. 1 year and a half to 2 years. She's not yet 2 years. Yeah, you look at the dentation. So once the teeth become permanent, all of them, they sometimes start falling off. According to the weight. So we retire a female once the teeth are off, or some of them have fallen off, because that translates to feeding. She might not be able to feed
very well.
Yeah, she may not carry the pregnancy to term. And if she carries the pregnancy to term, she'll be left in a very bad condition. Yeah, so for the females, you retire them when the teeth are started falling off.
And ideally, based off your experience, what's the average age that you'd retire an ewe?
6 years.
6 years? They don't last that long.
You thought what was you thinking?
I don't know what I imagine. Maybe double the age or something.
At 6 years, you know, the prime age when it's 4 years, they're supposed to be actively giving birth. But you know, if you want to retire a bit longer, then you reduce the intervals at which they are giving birth. But if they give birth if they are not nursing, they are pregnant. If they are not pregnant, they are nursing. It might not go for too long. Yeah.
That's interesting to know. What do you do with them when you've retired them? They become someone's dinner.
Sometimes you live with animals, and at times you just take them as your counterparts. It's sometimes even difficult to feed on these animals. But yes, we do. They become our dinner for that day. Yeah.
All right. There's something I'd like to ask about the Hampshire. Maybe we can just walk out and go to that side.
And allow this one to go and feed outside.
Okay, they need to feed also. So you'll just open the door?
Yes, I'll open.
Okay.
Is diarrhea. Sometimes the kids, sometimes the mothers have excess milk, to makes them diarrhea.
Okay. But it's not like he's sick or anything?
No, when we notice diarrhea, as I told you, we'll have to take the temperatures.
Okay.
So that the fever if she has fever, then that means there is a kind of infection.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how old is he? He has the necktie.
He's 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. So more or less ready to have those tags done.
Yeah, the third week.
The third week.
Yes.
Okay. Sawa.
Okay.
So to our viewers, we've come to the pen that has got the Hampshire sheep. And as Mr. Simoto earlier mentioned, the way you differentiate it is it has a black head and black feet. So this is where we are. I wanted to inquire from Lydia what they do, because the Hampshire sheep is a bit different. They just don't rear it for... Eventually, they mentioned Penzi Farm is exclusively for like breeding. They breed the animals to sell to people who want to further grow their flock and all. But the Hampshire sheep is also, it's not just for the meat, it's also for the wool. And I'm curious, based off your own knowledge on how you manage Hampshire Down sheep, at what point do you start shearing the wool, and how often should you shear it?
Okay, we start shearing when they hit one year, between 8 months to 1 year. And then there are some precautions when you take when you're about to do shearing. You're not supposed to shear during the rainy season.
Not during the rainy season, okay?
Yeah, because sometimes they sustain wounds, and it is during the rainy season. It's not the best time to like do wound dressing, because it allows bacteria to get in.
Because of the wetness?
Yes. So we do shearing twice a year.
Twice a year.
During the dry seasons. Like now, we are just from shearing them.
Okay.
Yes.
And for how long? I know you said like we shouldn't shear them during the rainy season. Ideally, because we're just about to get into the rainy season. In fact, kumeanza kunyesha. It started raining in Kenya. What's the gap? Like, is it 3-4 weeks before the rain starts that you should shear? 2 months before the rain starts? How do you time yourself well?
We start shearing on the onset of the dry season.
Onset of the dry season.
Yes. So that when the dry season comes to an end, if they had wounds, they're already healed.
They're already healed.
Yes.
That's great. Once again, to our viewers, this place is super dry, so you don't have to worry about wetness or anything. Lydia has just, I don't know why.
I talked about docking.
Docking, yeah.
Yes.
So there's a, can I try get that one?
Please do.
I hope the mom wants it, and they're so fast.
I'll have to take it for you.
Okay.
So this is the end product after docking. The tails falls off.
This is a tail that has fallen off.
This is the
fallen
tail
off.
that
Sorry.
has fallen off. Yeah. So I wanted to show you how the end product looks like.
And this pen has got nice sheep. At least there are some that are docked. She'll get one for us so that we see it.
Docking helps for the females. It helps even during mating. Yeah, because when the sheep has a long tail, it might obstruct the male from.
The male from.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll also take one that has the rubbering on. Then I can.
How old is this one, more or less?
These 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
So you docked it at that age?
Yes. Yeah, in fact it was.
So it will take a week?
It will take a week.
Oh, it was inserted today?
It's Saturday.
Saturday, okay.
Yeah, then it will fall off.
Today is Tuesday. We are doing this interview on a Tuesday. Oh, nice. Nice. Sawa, sawa.
The other thing I told you about, it's checking the parameters if you notice any diarrhea. And luckily there is I've noted
He's super fast.
Diarrhea in here.
You've got him.
Yes, I've got him.
They're super fast.
Yes.
So
where's the thermometer?
In your pocket.
Once we
the other side. Okay.
Once we notice diarrhea, we try as much as to take the parameters.
So to our viewers, we've just noticed, we came into this pen and we noticed the lamb was diarrheaing. It could be sick, it could not be sick. Diarrhea doesn't necessarily mean it's sick. And I'll let Lydia explain a little bit more about that once she's done taking the temperature.
You can see it's a bit high.
It's a bit high.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'll have to do some antibiotic shots.
Some antibiotic shot for
Yeah,
it. What's the temperature that
so it's about 41.
41. And what's the ideal temperature for a lamb?
Should be 38.5.
That's pretty high.
Yes.
2 degrees higher.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I'll have to do some antibiotic shots.
Uh-huh. How soon will you do it?
After this interview.
Immediately
I might
after
consider
this.
not finishing the interview.
It's okay. At least we have your colleague, Mr. Siboto.
Yes,
he
yes.
can pick it up from there.
Mm-hmm.
If you need us to release you, that's okay. I know he's well versed also with the whole disease management bit.
Yeah.
He can talk about it.
Okay, okay. I'll just take you through the health management.
Health management.
Yeah, then I'll release you to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to our viewers, sadly, the topic of health management, where diseases also are covered, have been introduced by a sick lamb that has a slight fever, sadly. But I think the goodness about it, the good part about it is we've already been introduced to that and the whole management bit of diseases. So Lydia will just pick it up from there and tell us a little bit more about some of the common diseases that affect their animals, the four breeds that they have, and how they manage them. And management has to do with prevention, control. What she's just about to do is control. The whole bit of antibiotic shot is more or less control. Yeah, so she'll take us through that. How do they do the prevention and the control and the management, everything that has to do with that.